Think of your favorite storybook. Imagine the bright colored pictures and the sentences flowing across the pages. Have you ever thought about who creates the pictures and writes the sentences? This is what you are going to learn today. What comes into your mind when you hear the words author and illustrator? Our lesson today is going to be defining the roles of the author and illustrator in the creation of a storybook and learning about why their jobs are so important. So an author can be described as the one who actually writes the words in a story. They write the story from start to finish. It is their job to make sure that the story they are telling has a beginning, a middle, and an end. They are actually the people who invent the characters and the events that take place in the story. It is their job to entertain their readers and make sure that the readers can make sense of what is actually going on in the story. The job of the illustrator is one that is just as important. They are the one who make the pictures in the storybooks. They make the story come to life before our very eyes because they correspond pictures to go with the words that the author writes. These pictures can be drawings or paintings. That's really up to the choice of the illustrator and what they see fit for the story. They can help us to know more about the story because they create pictures in our minds that go with the words that the author writes. Without the illustrator, we wouldn't be able to have a true picture of what is going on in the story, which is very important because we want to be able to understand and enjoy the story to the fullest. As we can see from their definitions, the jobs of both the author and the illustrator are very important. The author and the illustrator work together to make the stories that we love to read. Now, I want you to go into your storybook collection at home and pull just one of your favorite storybooks. Together, we're going to learn where we can locate the names of the author and illustrator on the actual copy of our book. One of my favorite storybooks growing up is entitled Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And it might be a little hard to see, but at the bottom of the book, we can see the names of the author and the illustrator. It says written by Julie Barrett. That would be the author. Underneath that line, it says drawn by Ron Barrett. That would be the illustrator. Now I want you to look at the cover of your storybook that you have in your hand. On the cover of your book should have the names of both the author and the illustrator. Having the names of the author and the illustrator on the very front of the book gives each person credit for the work that they've done, and it also shows us another reason why the jobs of both the author and the illustrator are so important. A lot of the times, an author will be given a page in a storybook, like the one that's on our screen, and it gives them an opportunity to share with their readers a little bit about themselves and why they started to write. Sometimes it will even give information about the inspiration behind the story that we're reading, and it just gives the author a little moment to shine and show that there's a real person behind the book that we are reading. These are just two of the pages that are found inside the book that I shared with you called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. But just from these two pages, we can see all of the work that the author and the illustrator put into the story. If you open up your storybook in front of you right now too, the work of the author and the illustrator can be present in any book at any moment. So, together, let's look at this page. The writing, or the text of the story, that tells us what's going on, we know that that is written by the author. Remember, they are the ones who write the words of the story. And these pictures that are very well drawn and help us to understand more fully what's going on in the story and create a picture in our minds that makes it more entertaining and easier to follow, those are drawn by the illustrator. Even though this is just 2 pages of a very long book, we can see immediately how important the roles of both the author and the illustrator are, and how they work together to create a story that every single reader can enjoy. The first thing that we will do tomorrow is we are going to sum up the ideas that we learned today through this video and the presentation that you saw before together in class. And a quick summary right now for you is that the author is the one who writes the words of the story, and the illustrator is the one who draws the pictures to match the words. And we have seen through this presentation that each role is very important and one could not function without the other. After we do the summary in class, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. This is very important because I need to make sure that you fully understood the video that you've been watching. Then, I will break you down into partner groups, and you will discuss one new idea that you learned. It can be about the author, the illustrator, or even where they are located on the book. That is totally up to you and your partner. Then, you will be given a worksheet. On that worksheet, you have to write one sentence about the author and an illustrator of the story, and draw one picture that can relate to your sentence. And again, you and your partner will work on this together. Last, we are going to share our ideas to the class, like the author and the illustrator share our book with us. I hope that this presentation has taught you a lot about a storybook and the roles of the author and illustrator, and I cannot wait to do more activities with you in class tomorrow.